What's up, guys? My name is Spartan, and this is episode 11 of the Beginner Progress series. This is a video series that I started basically with the intent of providing sort of a beginner guide playthrough style series for you guys, anybody who's new to the game and sort of just wants to see what I would do, somebody who's been playing this game for over a year and a half, basically just kind of imparting my knowledge onto you guys. So today, as you can see, elephant in the room, we currently have the wall unlocked. Is that the right answer? Was it smart to do so? Let's talk about it. But first and foremost, before we dive in, let's go ahead and look into the stats page here. So we are currently at 3.449 trillion lifetime coins, 2,400 stones. Things have been happening, quite a bit of stuff. I recently tried to do some milestone runs, so I did one on tier 10, I did one on tier 9, tier 8, basically all the way down, trying to get as many of the 4,500 milestones as possible. So I was really trying to just capitalize on getting some of those relics, and yeah, where I've mainly been farming up to this point has been tier 5. I've been averaging around like 6,000 waves, unless I'm actively like managing it, in which case I can get a little bit higher, like 6,500, maybe 7,000. But for the most part, I've done pretty much AFK up to this point, and I've been getting, around like 6,000 waves plus or minus. I was doing a test run here in tier 6 just to see how it goes. The first run I completed, I got 123 billion coins, which was pretty good. And yeah, alongside that, let me just go ahead and show you guys my run history here so you can see what we got going on. So this was the sort of test run I did in tier 6. This is the run that we just ended, so ignore that. But this is the test run in tier 6. So the coins and the cells are pretty good. Coins per hour, 15.38 versus averaging maybe 12, 13-ish in tier 5. I think this run was kind of an outlier. But yeah. A lot of it does come down, unfortunately, to like when you get your specific perks, which is, it's annoying, but it is what it is. You can see some of the milestone runs that I tried to do over here. Got the 4,500 milestone on tier 7 here. And yeah, that's where we're at in terms of the battle history. I know some of you guys have been asking in the comments to see that. But generally, my current philosophy when trying to advance to the next tier is I want to try to sort of average around 6,000 waves before jumping up to the next tier. Ideally, you would want to take it a little bit higher, maybe like 6,500 waves average, meaning some runs you may get 7,000, some runs you may get like 5,500. But averaging around the max spawn rate number, which is 6,500 waves. And that's kind of been my strategy both on Big Spartan and Spartan Jr. That being said, I'm planning this week on trying to just stay in tier 6 and obviously update you guys along the way and kind of just see how it goes. And let's go ahead and check out the workshop so I can show you guys what all we got going on. Still have a little bit of damage investment, but at this point, now that I have the wall, I'm basically diving into health regen as my primary survivability stat. We'll still leave this damage in here just for the sake of lifesteal, but it's not going to do too much for us anymore. So we have all of the basically critical stuff maxed out in the workshop for our blender build. Everything else here gets maxed out during the run, with an exception of the damage. The damage usually does not fully get maxed, but honestly, that is totally fine by me. Let's go ahead and look into the defense upgrades so you guys can see what we got going on. We have 3,500 levels here in health, and we have 3,500 levels here in health regen. I'm really just kind of trying to keep a 1-to-1 ratio with both of these. The health regen, again, has become a pretty big play. So that's sort of what I spent most of between last episode and this episode working on, was basically getting my health regen to match up with my normal workshop health. But I feel pretty happy with it at the moment. Obviously, probably my end goal is going to be to try to get both of these to a point where I can max them both out during the run. So that will likely look like around 4,500 to 5,000 levels in both of these stats. We're obviously a ways off from that because you can see how expensive it is. But yeah, in terms of the rest of this, the wall stuff, I definitely want to be able to work on at some point, but it's just crazy expensive. So we're probably not going to be working on that really anytime soon. Similar kind of thing with like the landmine damage. It's just really expensive. The landmine radius we could go ahead and max, but honestly, it's 12 levels shy. It just gets maxed with free ups. So 71 billion early on is just crazy expensive. So yeah, in terms of the defense upgrades, again, my current plan is to basically just times 100 and just go 1, 2, 1, 2 as many times as I possibly can until, like I said, we get to that sort of pivot point where I'm able to max out all of this stuff during the run. That is my primary goal in terms of the coins in the workshop. And once we get to that point, we can start diving into like workshop enhancements, which is going to be super exciting. We're not quite there, but we'll get there soon enough. Now moving on to the utility tree, you can see we have basically, again, all of the critical stuff maxed. I would love to be able to just fully max out this stuff, but as you can see, it's just, again, stupid expensive. But on the bright side, I am able to max out all of my utility stuff during the run. It would be great to continuously basically work on enemy attack level skips, but I feel like I want to work on my survivability a bit more first, especially for the sake of the tournaments. I feel like that is where I will get the most value overall. Now moving on to ultimate weapons. Now this is something I'm actually very excited to share with you guys. We now have achieved a natural sync with all three of our econ producing ultimate weapons. So Golden Tower, Deathwave, and Black Hole. We have a 3 minute and 20 sync, natural sync. That so far has contributed pretty heavily to my econ. As I've mentioned, there are two ways that you can get a sync with your ultimate weapons. You can do it either through Multiverse Nexus, the module, which is sort of like a cheat code, or you can do it naturally by upgrading each of these until they basically equal out to be the same thing. On my first Spartan account, I basically did Multiverse Nexus, so right from the get-go, I just started maxing out Black Hole cooldown because it's so cheap, and then slowly working on these after. Because we basically are not using Multiverse Nexus on this account, at least not yet, I wanted to do a natural sync, which obviously it's already getting very expensive. If I wanted to do another click into this, I would need over 300 stones, so we're a little bit far off from being able to afford that. So I think for the meantime, in terms of my stone planning, I'm either going to save up for my next ultimate weapon and try to see if maybe I can get Chain Lightning. And if I don't get Chain Lightning, I'm probably just going to continue to work on some of this other stuff. Like I'll probably get Quant 2 Deathwave, Quant 2 Spotlight, maybe some more Angle, just different stuff like that. And then eventually try to go back to like reducing the cooldowns. But at this stage of the game, econ is everything. Econ is first priority. Second to that is survivability. So I need to try to get as much EHP as I possibly can. And you'll see what that looks like already just from like the workshop and also some of the labs and the modules that you'll see in a little bit. Speaking of the cards, modules, and labs and all of that, let's move on to the next thing, which is going to be the cards. So we still have 15 card slots. That's what we got going at the moment. That has been pretty good for me. This has been a really good spot to be in terms of card slots. And I think likely I'm honestly going to stay with 15 for quite a little bit, at least until the featured banners are gone. And then we'll probably go back to the normal gem spending plan. But I did notice I had Fortress on here. I don't really need Fortress, so we'll see if I can add something else here. I think out of the current cards that I have, the best thing I could probably add would just be the base damage card. Actually, I stand corrected. We're going to go ahead and get Plasma Cannon, just so we can basically chunk down bosses a little bit easier. I think that'll be pretty good for us. So this is my current setup that I'm using for farming. We have attack speed, health regen, cash, coins, extra defense, enemy balance, free upgrades, Plasma Cannon, critical coin, wave skip, landmine stun, recovery package chance, and then we have wave accelerator and berserker. This has been a pretty good setup for me. Obviously, like I mentioned, I did have Fortress on because I don't even know why I had it on, but we just took that off for the time being. I think I don't really need defense absolute at this point now that I'm in like tier 6, but if I find that I'm losing waves, I may put it back on and take Plasma Cannon off. But one thing to consider when you're setting up your cards, your modules, everything, right? You want to consider what you're actually dying to during your runs. So like I'm dying to basic enemies here. And early on, it's going to be pretty difficult to kind of tell what you're dying to. Basic enemy. Okay, so it's actually like mostly basic enemies, but all like common type enemies, right? Not really dying to elites, not really dying to bosses, really just dying to like common enemies. So what that tells me is I need more survivability, which is why we've been doing sort of the plan that we've been doing. But yeah, in terms of my cards, although there are featured banners currently going, I'm still going to do my buy 80 cards mission. It's something I really feel is strong and important to do because, like I've mentioned, cards are a guarantee. And we are getting close to sort of maxing out some of these cards, like the health card is getting very close to level 7. The coins card would be great to get to level 7. Slow aura's very close. So we're making some moves. Extra defense, this one is 1 level away from basically getting to level 6. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into the modules. So under the modules, a few things have kind of changed here. I did do quite a bit of polling during the core featured banner to see if maybe I could get some more primordial collapses. And I don't know if I actually got enough to get Mythic Plus. I think I had Mythic Plus already before. If not, I just had Mythic, but still. This has been my primary farming module, and it's been absolutely awesome for me. I want to ditch the Golden Tower bonus and the Black Hole duration, and basically just go for the Golden Tower duration. I think, again, I'm going to get so much more value from that. And don't forget, every day, check your module levels. You don't want to go multiple days without these multipliers. So always make sure to go in and check. In terms of other modules I did unlock the Wormhole Redirector. Or, for those of you that are OG Spartan watchers, the Wormhole Regenerator. But this eventually will be my, I believe, primary module for at least a little bit, until I'm able to get a few more sharp fortitudes. But for the meantime, Wormhole Redirector is going to be probably the best thing for me. And obviously the reason I'm not using it currently is just because I have not yet gotten a health regen effect. Once I get the health regen, I'm 100% going to be using it. That pretty much covers it for the modules, but there is one other thing I sort of wanted to talk about regarding the wall. So we'll go back over to the workshop here. A lot of people wonder when you should actually unlock the wall. And I need to make a dedicated video about this, but the short answer is if you know what you're doing with the wall, you can afford to sort of unlock it a little bit earlier. But I'll give you a couple options that people will do. The first option is they will unlock the wall. They will start a couple of the wall labs, and then they will instantly respec and go back to farming without the wall. That option is probably preferred if your EHP is not yet where it needs to be, or if you're farming with the Orb Devo strategy. If you're farming with Blender, having the wall, even at base level, does not really hurt you as bad. It's still not ideal because the issue is when you start a run, eventually it'll get to the point where you're basically just killing the enemies with thorns. And if you don't have the wall thorns, basically you're going to have to wait until your wall completely crumbles, and then you'll kill them with the normal standard thorns that you have. I currently have 102%. That becomes an issue because, again, if your EHP is not developed enough, they will just basically kill your wall and then completely destroy your tower after that. It's called getting shotgunned. Getting shotgunned is obviously not ideal. The conventional wisdom in terms of when to actually unlock the wall, it used to basically be you want to wait until your daily coin income is around 500 billion or more. It ultimately comes down to the labs. The labs just are very expensive, especially if you want to do all 4 of the primary ones at the start. But the one lab in particular that is the most expensive is the wall fortification lab. This one right here, you can see it costs 295 billion for the next level. That is more coins than I make in a single day. So obviously it's not going to be ideal for me. The reason that I went ahead and unlocked the wall is because my base EHP labs, as in health and health regen, are basically, I feel, in a good enough spot to sort of justify unlocking the wall without wall fortification. You can think of wall fortification basically as recovery for your wall. Like, just like you have package health, wall fortification basically is the same thing as package health. It's just bonus health that you get on top of the normal health. But now that they have introduced Sharp Fortitude as a module, if you get this above probably Legendary, I think you could probably cut that daily amount of coin income in half, because you get a lot of value from this Sharp Fortitude module. I'll just read you what it says here if you're new and haven't seen it. It says increase the wall's health and regen by times 1.25 at Epic, going all the way up to 2.5 at Ancestral. And additionally, enemies take 1% increased damage from wall thorns per subsequent hit. So each basically hit that they do to your wall, it adds 1% increasing damage from the thorns. Using Sharp Fortitude is similar to sort of using Multiverse Nexus to achieve a natural sync. It's like a cheat code. It lets you get more out of the wall earlier on. If I'm being completely honest, I probably should not have the wall unlocked, if I'm just being totally honest, because again, I'm not making that daily amount of coins. And I know what you're going to say in the comments, that is a little bit hypocritical. And yes, I'm mainly doing this for the sake of testing. I just want to see if it's possible and if it actually benefits me. And so far, I think it actually has benefited me a little bit in the sake of farming. Tournaments, not so much. Tournaments have been more challenging with the wall because, again, shotgunning. Shotgunning is an issue. But yeah, let's go ahead and actually dive into the labs and show you guys exactly what I'm working on. I'm currently trying to get a 4th band perk. I think that would be good to go ahead and just get 4, and then I don't really have to worry about it for a while. Reroll shards is currently going. I got my daily mission shards up to, I believe, level 20. So again, sort of trying to bring them up in increments of 5 levels. The module labs, again, I've said it in previous episodes, but I cannot stress it enough. They are just super, super, super valuable. And wall health I also have in here. I'm probably going to leave this in here all the way until it is maxed because it's just really good. I maxed it on Big Spartan, and yeah, it's going to be pretty helpful for me. Lab speed, obviously, as you know, I am a firm believer in lab speed. I think lab speed is super, super valuable. And I have health regen in lab slot 3. It will basically just buff up my wall regen. So that's why I have that in there. I'm probably going to take it up to like level 40 at some point, and then also bring my base health lab up to 40 as well. In terms of the history, I'll just show you guys kind of what we've been working on. It's been mostly wall labs and some other random stuff like daily mission shards. Yeah, just mostly wall stuff, as I mentioned. A couple Deathwave cell bonuses in there, Spotlight coin bonus. I got all of my coin bonus labs up to level 10, then standard perk bonus up to level 14. That's definitely one that I want to try to come back to pretty soon, I think. Let me just go ahead and go through all of these labs so that you guys can see what all I have done. So I'll just briefly kind of scroll through here and show you. We've got a good establishment in all of the utility discounts, and that will definitely come into play, especially with how expensive like the ELS are, enemy level skips. And I honestly probably would benefit by putting a little bit more investment into the defense discount as well because of the wall upgrades, but we have plenty of time to get to that later on. Target priority also is another one of those I'm kind of thinking about looking into pretty soon, mainly for the sake of protectors, but target priority won't really affect me that much until I start transitioning more to like a damage focused build. It's still pretty good with EHP, but not necessarily as important. In terms of the other stuff we've got going on, attack speed is level 42. This is another one I really want to get up to probably like level 50 and then sort of let it sit for a little while. The damage and crit factor, these are going to be on hold for a little while. Pretty much all of this is going to be on hold for a little while. But yeah, right now we are in the EHP phase of the game, which is generally speaking, people will go EHP right out the gate and pretty much do that until they're like trying to transition to glass cannon, which is usually when they're on the brink of going from champions to legends. Then here's my defense research. You can see we have a decent amount of defense percentage. Defense absolute, we just got to level 10 for the sake of tier 1. Orb speed, I have 2 more levels there. It's not expensive, but it takes quite a bit of time, so I'm just holding off on that for the meantime. I do intend on maxing this out though. It's super, super valuable. And again, my health and my health regen labs, I'm kind of just trying to take these up in increments of 5, kind of similar to the module labs that we discussed. And then here are the wall labs here. Wall health is currently working. I have thorns and regen both at level 8, which is okay. Obviously, it's not Not perfect. We need a lot more, but it'll be okay for the meantime. The wall rebuild is another lab that would be good to go ahead and try to get some levels in, but the first priority when you unlock the wall is getting these 4 labs in a good spot. These 4 labs in a good spot. Wall health, wall regen, wall thorns, and wall fortification. These 4 labs are paramount to the success of the wall. The wall rebuild does come into play, but it's not near as critical really until later on. But yeah, and then orb boss hit as well. This one's super, super valuable, so I went ahead and just maxed it out. 2% damage to bosses, percent of their health per hit. So that is why orb boss hit plus orb speed is really, really good. Moving on to the utility research, coins per kill is level 50. Cash bonus is level 39. Pretty satisfied with these. Cash and coins per wave are not super great. The bonuses are what you really want to focus on. We got recovery package after boss. That one's really good. The next lab on my agenda is probably going to be, in terms of the recovery package stuff, the package chance. This is really good. It has 20 levels and you end up, I believe, with 4% extra. This is definitely one that's lower on the priority list, but still good to get done, especially if you have a galaxy compressor. Moving on, ultimate weapon research. GT duration, level 11. Pretty happy with that. GT bonus, level 11 as well. Deathwave health is another one that I would like to get up a little bit, but I will need to put a little bit of investment into damage to get the most out of this. Deathwave coin bonus, level 10. Pretty good. Black hole stuff is already maxed. Black hole coin bonus, level 10. Spotlight coin bonus, level 10. I got all of my coin bonuses up to level 10, and then I'm basically going to come back to them a little bit later on. Deathwave cells is one that I definitely want to take up to level 10. That would be pretty good. I might be able, if I do that, to get 1 lab on ×3. Obviously, I don't want to rush into it, but Deathwave cells is really, really valuable. Moving on to the card research. We haven't done a whole lot here. We got the first level of extra orbs, pretty good. And then we got the extra orb adjuster. The rest of this I'm not overly concerned with. Like second wind blast would be good for tournaments, but honestly, there's way more important stuff that I need to work on. My first priority, like I mentioned, is econ and survivability. Those are my 2 primary focuses for this stage of the game. And moving on, we have perks. Everything's pretty good here. Standard perk, I want to take a little bit higher. Waves required, I'd like to eventually take to 13. That would be good. But overall, this is in a pretty good spot, all of my perk labs, especially when I get this next band perk. Auto pick ranking as well is another one that would be really good to go ahead and try to get a little bit higher, maybe like 2 more levels. And then I feel like I would basically be set in terms of perks. In bots, I have not touched any of this. Then enemies, do not touch any of these for a very long time. It's fine. And then last but not least, we got the module labs. These are super important. Common drop chance, already maxed that out. Max it out as soon as it makes sense for you to do so, as soon as it's not going to bankrupt you. Then you want to try to bring up your reroll shards and daily missions quite a bit. This is the gift that keeps on giving, all of this stuff. And then there's rare drop chance. Rare drop chance, we finally are sort of at the point where we have enough coins to sort of work on it. So I think once reroll shards gets up to level 20, I'm probably going to put in rare drop chance and at least try to do a couple of these levels. But honestly, I probably won't do that until I'm making closer to like 200 or 300 billion per day. I think that would be a pretty good spot to be in. Module shard cost is another one that's really good to work on earlier rather than later. That way it just translates to higher module levels, which means higher multipliers. So your coins, your survivability, all of this stuff, you just get a higher multiplier by getting it done sooner rather than later. So some people say you can wait to do it because it doesn't really matter. You'll still get the same amount of shards whether you do it today or, a year from now. But I think it makes more sense to try to get the multiplier earlier rather than later. That's just my opinion. And in terms of these bans, I'm 100% not even concerned with these at all whatsoever. Not right now. There's so much more important stuff to work on. But yeah, that's going to cover it for the labs. Let's go ahead and talk about the tournaments. So unfortunately, we are back in gold. But it's okay. Funny enough, I was actually just about to stay in platinum, right? I was at rank 24 by the end of it. I thought everything was good. And somebody ended up tying me at rank 24, which inevitably brought both of us down to rank 25. So yeah, it was a little bit frustrating, but again, as we continue to develop our survivability and econ, I'm thinking that probably next time we get into platinum, so basically after this tournament, I think we might stand a chance at staying in platinum thereafter, depending on the battle conditions that we get. It is challenging with different battle conditions. Like, the battle conditions definitely do affect how you sort of survive, especially depending on how you have developed your tower. But overall, I feel like the tournaments, like, we're definitely moving the right direction. Let me just pull up the history here. So you can see each time we've been in platinum, we have basically increased our waves. The only sort of outlier is this one here. I think I just got kind of lucky. But yeah, we got rank 25, which is currently our highest ever. So I'm hoping that next tournament we're able to lock in at a minimum rank 24 and just stay in after that. But if not, we'll just continue going through the motions and doing what we're doing. But we have consistently done really good in Gold League, so I feel fairly confident we'll be able to definitely promote, but hopefully try to get another rank 1, just get some extra stones. Now let's talk about the events really quickly here. So everything at this point, I can get most of these events done. I just haven't done the energy shield yet because it's annoying. But I could get this done if I really cared to. In terms of the other stuff, we did get both of these relics. It's really, really good. It is unfortunate we did not get the lab speed relic because we're not doing any of this, but it's okay. And if you guys do try to get this lab speed relic before the event ends and you purchase this, please consider using my content creator code. My creator code is code 300. You can see it in the bottom left of the screen there. Yeah, using my code directly supports me and my content at no extra cost to you. And it works for anything purchased in the in-game app itself or the web store. To enter the code in the in-game app, you just hit this button right here, which is creator code, and you can type in my code. If you purchase anything in the web store using my creator code, you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page where it says support a creator and enter my code, code 300. The only issue with the creator codes is they do expire after 30 days. So basically once a month you have to go in and re-enter the code. But you can purchase anything that you can purchase in the in-game app from the web store with an exception of these packs here, the bi-weekly stone packs, including the event boost, by the way. And the plus side to that, it sort of helps both of us out. I get a slightly higher commission and you guys get 10% extra gems. But yeah, like I said, we're basically able to complete all of these except for maybe the Death Defy. That one's pretty challenging unless you have the Energy Shield Lab completed. In terms of the actual event shop, we have been purchasing some of these stones. I don't usually go past the 90 because it just, the value per metal spent is kind of diminishing after that. But definitely if you're free to play, this is a great source. Just the first click costs 40, the second click costs 65. So it's a lot of value for basically 105 metals. You can get 30 stones. Yeah, it's a really good value. So definitely do that. I wouldn't really endorse purchasing the gems with metals unless maybe you're like really close to a card slot or I don't know, you just want to go gamble with some modules. But other than that, definitely the stones are a good investment. We already purchased everything here. We got the tower skins. We got the relics here, the ultimate weapon damage and the free attack upgrade. So I'm happy with that. And we're saving up for basically the rollover of the next event in 3 days. So that's currently the game plan. I do try to do at least one click into Golden Bot range each event. Obviously it's going to get pretty expensive pretty quick, but that's sort of the name of the game. You always start with this stuff first because this is the stuff that is not always here every event. Then you go to the Golden Bot because that will always be here. The Golden Bot will always be here. And then after that, if you want to, you can go to some of this stuff up here. Generally speaking, it's a good idea to try to have at least around 500 medals left after the event is over, so that when the event rolls over, you can instantly get these 2 coin multipliers. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up for the events. Let's go ahead and talk about the guild content. Shout out to Towers Anonymous. We've been killing it. In terms of the Guardians, I'm using Fetch and Summon. This is currently what my summon looks like. I'm not doing anything in a cash bonus because I don't know. I don't really think it matters too much. Main concern for me is going to be the cooldown and the duration, just basically reducing this and getting as much uptime as possible. Likewise, my fetch chip, this is what it currently looks like here. I'm able to max out both of these, the gem and metal daily cap, so that's a really good thing. Obviously, it would be good to get my fetch to a point where I'm able to max this stuff out too, but I think the value I get in terms of econ from summon is just really, really valuable. So I think actually I'm going to go ahead and do a few clicks into the cooldown just to reduce it a little bit more. And yeah, with that, that's going to conclude this episode of the Beginner Progress series. I hope that this series is valuable to you guys. I really hope that you're enjoying it and following along. And let me know in the comments how your tower is going. I know a lot of you guys who have watched this series are newer to the game. Let me know in the comments what's working for you, what you've been working on that maybe I'm not working on. Just let me know. I'm just curious. I want to see how you guys are doing, how you guys are sort of working through it. So yeah. And likewise, if you are new to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you'd consider subscribing to the channel. We are honing in on 8,000 subscribers, so that would be great. Another milestone out of the way. Yeah, I would really appreciate it if you guys would consider subscribing, leaving a like on the video, then just dropping a comment. The likes and comments definitely help with the YouTube algorithm and just spreading this series to other people that may need to see it. So I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, enough talking. That is it for this episode of the Beginner Progress series. But thank you so much for watching. And like always, I will see you guys later.